the understanding will be the DB, okay? And the ABC, I don't know what that, will be the IB. Okay, let's try to draw the framework. Let's say ABC, lead to communication and quality, and then will lead to understanding. Now, if this is the way, I want to change the moderator as well. So, ABC lead to communication and lead to understanding. And in this one, I want the quality, moderate only this part, okay? All right, so let's say this is the framework that we want to test using this data. All right, so for the path analysis, okay, for the direct effect, we use this one-hand arrow. Okay, so in this model, you can see ABC lead to communication, communication lead to understanding, communication, understanding. Okay, let's make it look beautiful. All right, so next one, let's now focus on the quality for now. Okay, so I will delete it for now. Let's try the direct effect first. Okay, so the next thing you need to remember, you see the head, whenever the head point to, that thing have to have an arrow residue. Okay, so you can see it, the arrow, from the construct lead to item, the arrow lead to the item, right? So each of the item have to have arrow residue. Okay, so in the same basic, the same concept that this one and this one, because arrow lead to it, right? They have to have arrow residues as well. Okay, so I will do this one. Okay, now the unique variables, click on that, 1 and 2. Move it out of the way. Okay, and then again, name and observe variables, like this. And then user forget it. Okay, so that. And then you can run it exactly the same with the ZX2, except that in here, remember to check on this one. Okay, but I remember last time I already asked you to, so there won't be a problem. Okay, great. No error box happened. Okay, so you can see that. Again, let's check it quick. Okay, UA4 and what? CF4 and U2. So remember, only check about this. And F2, right? Okay. So let's run again. All right, everything perfect. So let's see the result. Okay. The degree of freedom is 2 point something, right? So I think it's good. For model fit, okay, this is good. This is not at our standard yet. IMR. Let's see, IMR is okay. All right. So see if we have anything try to improve it. But first, let's look at the relationship. Okay. So where is this? All right. So here, take a look at this. ABC on communication, the P values here is 0.7. Is this significant? It is significant? No. Okay, so that means from ABC to communication here, it is not significant. The second one, from communication to understanding. Okay, is significant?
Yes.
Okay, that's why I told you ask directly the life of the PhD student. Okay, you happy whenever you see that? Okay, how about the spread? So now we know about whether it's significant or not. How how we know the strength, the power of prediction. Okay, so you can look at this, the estimate. Okay, the estimate is your strength. Okay, so most of the time we will predict, we will represent the power by beta. Okay, so in this case, I will report it like this. This one 0.1. Normally, in the papers, okay, in the journal paper, we only report 2 digits after the decimal point, okay. But sometimes in your thesis, okay, your advisor want you to show 3 digits because sometimes the effect is so small or the p-value is so small that you have to write 3 of it, okay. But in our homework, as again, that only follow APA, okay. So this one 0.2 and nothing else, all right, because it's not significant. So the next one will be 0.94 and 3 star. Okay, you should report it like this. Okay, so that's it for the direct effect. Of course, when you report this, you should report the model fit in your writing. Sometimes you can provide the table, okay, but in our homework, I think you can provide in the test format. Mention the model fit in the test, in the explanation. Okay, let's see if we can try to make it better a little bit. All right. 1 to 5, 6 to 10, and 16 to 9. 60. Okay, here I think we have 1, 9, and 10. Okay, so that's fine. 9 and 10. Okay, it becomes worse. Okay, earlier it's 112, now it's 114. Okay, so in my observation, maybe we got the deleted. Okay, so this is not a trial and error process. Currently, I cannot think of any better way to do this process of the modification in die connection. If you are, it will be your nightmare. Even worse experience than this because you have to type it out one by one. And then it doesn't work, you have to delete it and you have to type it again. So that's why I decided to go with this one to teach you guys because it's more easier to modify the thing. Alright, so that's it for the path analysis for the direct effect. Any question? Okay, alright, so if there's no other question, let's move on and try to test the moderation effect. For the moderation effect, it will be a little bit complicated for the module A, okay? Because you need to involve both SPNS and AMOS, all right? So let's explain about the natures of the moderation effect first. So last time we already talked about this. The direct effect between IV and DV, okay? So let's say the direct effect will go like this, all right? So that's it, we only consider about IV and DV. So where the moderators step in. So when the moderators step in, based on the theoretical, okay, we cannot just randomly guess it, we have to base on the theoretical, and we propose that it may let this line become stronger or weaker, or even change the direct effect, change the direction. Okay, so what does it mean by making it stronger? Stronger means that you can see this is the slope, right? You can see this is the slope of the effect. And if you see the moderator inside, the effect maybe become like this. And you can see the slope become much bigger. Okay, so that's what we change. What we say in changing in the slope. Okay, in some more, I think more traditional way of testing, we're not only testing the moderator, we're also testing the slope. All right, but nobody in the current version, I will only teach you the moderation one, and it mostly be accepted. Okay, except if you, for example, like your model is focused specifically in only the moderation effect, then maybe you will need a more advanced technique to test the moderation one. Okay, so weakened. What does it mean by weakened? Okay, in this one, the data should be positive. Okay, significant. Weakened means that you can see the slope like this, right? And it becomes lower. So this one becomes negative and significant. Oh, yes. Wait. Yes, it will reduce the effect, the strength of the effect like this one. In some time, it even can change, but I rarely will see this in my own data, okay? Because the moderator have to be strong enough that it change the effect of the main IV, okay? If you're not careful enough, the moderator, that's how maybe should be the main IV rather than IV, that's why. Okay, so I rarely see that in my real data. Okay, so how can we test it, the moderation effect using SEM? So to test it in SEM, we have to do some preparation in SPLS. Okay, so yes, you have to return to SPLS to do some preparation. Is data focus on humility leadership. Okay, and in this data I don't have items. Okay, I only have construct, but that's, oh no, we need items, sorry. Let me find another one. We need item to run the SEO, sorry. Let me find another one. This one is on the humility, humor, okay? So we have several constructs in here. Okay, so we have different types of the humor. Let me try. Let me remember the framework. Okay, so the framework is like this. Affiliate humor and aggressive humor. Related on let's say psychological capital, and then related to, let's say, voice behavior. Okay, I said that in my head, and it will be moderated by SIT. Okay, so this will be the, and of course we will have several control variables, including gender, education, and tenure. Okay. Alright, so let's try to test this model. So first one that we have to test the tree, but we already tested earlier, so I will not do it again. Second one is that in order to test this one, regardless of you SEM or regression, you both have to create an interaction. Okay, mean centers interaction of what? Of the moderators and the IV. Okay, so how many interactions we have to create in this model? 2. Okay, so actually this is the theoretical framework. Okay, but let me draw for you the statistical framework. For statistical framework, it should be like this. This is the theoretical framework. Okay, in case that the main DV you want here is the psychological capital, okay? If you want the moderator to moderate the effect from IV to DV, it will be all of the arrow will lead to this one. Okay, that will be a different models. But let's try this one. That's how it works. I always nervous when we learn about the model because it always happens some errors. Okay, so how to create a mean center interaction? There are several steps. Okay, I will write it down here. The first one, you have to know the mean values. Okay, so you have to know the mean value of IV and moderators. Okay, then you compute the mean centers of the two of the construct, which is IV minus mean and moderator minus mean. Okay. Finally, you compute the interaction. IV minus mean times moderator minus mean. So this is three steps. Okay, so let's do it one by one. First one, you need to know the mean of the IV and the moderator, right? So you can use either. Okay, you already know that. Remember that this will be different with your first report of the mean, because you may already delete some items, right? So the mean will be different, so you have to calculate this again. So in this case, we need affiliation humor. See, I already calculated here, you can see that, but I will do it again. So little affiliation humors, little aggressive humors, and SIT. Here. Okay. So I only need the mean. I don't need any other thing. Okay, so you have to know it down. So we have three of them. Next one, you have to compute the mean centers. Okay, so in this case, we will name it center. We already have it for another one, right? Okay, center. Hence. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so there will be 2. Okay, so next one, I will pick this one minus here 4.8794. That's it. And okay. So I should have here. You can see that the neo construct here, just like when you compute the neo construct similarly. So continue on. I need to open this one. Okay. Minus 1.878. And finally, it will be the SIT. Minus 5.7745. Okay. Yes. So we have three of them, right? So from three of them, the next step is what? We will compute the interaction term. Okay, so this is interaction term. So in some software, like let's say MS, okay, they will call it interaction term, and you have to understand what the interaction term means. So in this case, we have to create two interaction terms, right? Again, compute variables and AFF, SIT, like this one, and symbol AFF, time, SIT. Remember, always do this way, okay? Choose on it and then click the arrow. Do not type it, because most of the time it will run error. Okay, do not type the name, for example, like SIT, send something in here. You do not type it here. Okay? Actually, if you run it have some problem, so always click and choose it like this. Count and some T. Okay? So again, we will have HEG as equal to HEG count and some T. Okay. Alright, so we done preparation for the test. Alright, so take a short break for about 5 minutes and then return again to application motivation.